Hey everybody, it's Matt. I wanted to make a video just kind of talking about Guild Wars 2 and how I kind of feel about the game right now, and to sum it up, I feel pretty down about the game, pretty disappointed in the game. I guess to get a better picture, I'll start from when the expansion hit because I think that's probably the last big milestone. So, the expansion came out October 23rd, and I was super excited for it. I think we all were super excited for it. There was all kinds of stuff promised in the expansion, and just all kinds of amazing stuff. And I really enjoyed the expansion starting out. The story was good, but I got done with the story really quick. And it's funny because I waited like 2 weeks after the expansion to do the story. I'm not sure why I did that. I think it was because I wanted to have explored all 4 maps so that I could, just do the story in one fell swoop. And I got the story and I did the story, and it was okay, but it was just so short, and that kind of disappointed me. And then after the story was done, I'm mostly a PvE ear. So I played on the maps, the 4 new maps, and at first I was really enjoying myself because there was new collectible, not new collectibles, new things to find on the maps, new little things to do on all the map, vistas and all kinds of stuff, that you wanted to find and stuff, mastery points, stuff like that. And I really had fun exploring the maps. Just doing just casual stuff to just run around and have fun. But as I started completing those things, the maps started just turning into a grind for me. Basically the main reason I was playing the maps was to earn the currency on those maps, and you spend the currency to buy collectibles on the vendors on those maps. And I wanted the collectibles so that I could fill up my collections. And I love filling out collections and doing achievements and stuff like that. I played these maps heavily for like a month, and there was ups and downs. The first 2 maps, Verdant Brink and Auric Basin, they weren't that hard. I had a little bit of trouble here on, some pocket raptors here, but it really wasn't that bad. But the last 2 maps, the Tangled Depths and the Dragon Stand, were a lot more painful, just because of trying to do the meta on those maps. The meta was just, so different, and it took so long, and you needed so many people for it, and like on these 4 maps, if you're not doing the meta, you're really not earning any of the map currency. So it was hard, especially on Tangled Depths, to get anything really accomplished. There was a bunch of achievements and collections tied to completing the Tangled Depths meta, and I just couldn't do it. Every time I'd get together with a group, we would fail, and it went on for a while actually. And the Dragon Stand meta wasn't so difficult that we couldn't do it, but it took so long. It just took so long. And then once you completed the Dragon Stand meta, that was your first opportunity to actually trade in some crystalline ore for stuff that you needed for collections and stuff. So you'd have to wait through a humongously long meta just to get to the vendor, which was super dumb. And then they only gave you like 10 minutes to fully explore the fully discovered map. Because half the map you could explore normally, but the other half of the map you could only explore once the meta had completed. So the whole reason you were on the map was to do the meta. So if you went onto the map and the meta wasn't completed, you basically couldn't do anything on that map. It was half a map, probably less than that. You wouldn't have access to half the mastery points on the map, and half the vistas on the map, and half the and like all the good ranger pets were in the locked off half. So I started getting frustrated. With the new maps. Just the amount of map currency you needed to buy the collectibles was just so obscenely high. Like you'd open up a airship cargo and you get like 3 airship parts, but you needed like 500 per each item in the vendor. And it was just like, are you kidding me? And like the events themselves don't drop the currencies. They just drop keys so that you could use the keys to open up the chest to get the currency. It was just like, why don't you just have the events drop the currency, you know? So I'd say about a month after the release of the expansion, about the end of November, I was really burnt out. I was really burnt out, and I had to just like stay out of the expansion content because I had played it so heavily, and I grinded for the currencies, and I got some of the collectibles, but I was still missing a bunch of them. And I was just like, I can't do this. I can't keep grinding currencies for these collections. I just can't do that. So I tried to play. I was like, well, I'm just gonna play a non-expansion content. And that was a little bit difficult too because I'd played that non-expansion content for like 3 years, you know. So I mean, nothing was really new to me. I did a little bit here and a little bit there, but by the end of the year, probably even 2 weeks after that, I was bored to tears because I don't do raids. I don't do fractals. I actually hate the fractal system with the agony resistance and stuff. I absolutely hate that system. If the fractal system didn't have agony in there, I probably would really enjoy that. But because you have to, it's like a little stat you have to work on, and it's only useful in fractals. It just seems dumb for me, who may do a lot of PvE, that to be like, well, why should I even worry about agony, So, by the end of the December, I was not really wanting to play the game at all. And to me, I made a list. I made a list on Twitter, and I said, ArenaNet, you need to fix this stuff for me to come back and play the game. And I was like, they have to address some of these things. The grind of the maps, the cost of the collectibles and the vendors, the amount of people needed to do the meta events and Dragon's Den and Tangled Depths is just too obscene. Too obscene that it's just unrealistic in 50% or higher of the times to ever see it occur and successfully complete. And I was like, you need to do that, and I will be more interested in playing the new content. And month after month after month went by. All I saw, I mean, from someone that wasn't playing the game, I would look in and I would watch their updates, and all I would see would be, hey, we added some more stuff to the cash shop. Hey, we added some more stuff to the cash shop. Hey, we have this on sale in the cash shop. And I'm going, hey, those are some cool skins. Why aren't any of those in game? It was another gripe of mine for a long time that 2 costumes you can get in game. That's it. And then like all the other costumes are on the cash shop. Wing back at a wing set glider you can get in game, but like every other one is in the cash shop. And I'm like, some of these things would have been really, really cool as quests and content to work towards, and instead they just added into the cash shop, and it made me mad that just watching it was just like more cash shop, and I was like, people just spent like $50. I mean, a lot of people spend $50 or more on the expansion, and what does ArenaNet do? They just start throwing a bunch of stuff in the cash shop and wanting even more of our money. I mean, if anything, I was expecting them to, try to give us more stuff for free to make up for that $50. You haven't spent any money all year, or maybe you spent a little bit, but now you had to drop $50 whole dollars, in 1 month. We're gonna make up for that. We're gonna give you some, some free content to make up for that. Maybe some really good cash shop sales to make up for that. They never did any of that, So month after month went by, and I was expecting more, and all I saw was them adding stuff to the cash shop. And interviews would come out. When is this going to come out? When is that going to come out? And ArenaNet would be like, we're hoping to have it out by, they were talking about Living World. Like Living World was supposed to, honestly, a lot of people were saying a Living World would come out like a month after the expansion, or like 2 months, like the start of the next year. And then any complaints about the amount of content or story in Heart of Thorns would be relieved by the Living World giving you that extra story. And now they're saying don't expect it until Q3 of 2016. And now I was just like, oh, that's so dumb. I mean, that's awful. Because, I mean, that was like, yeah, you're only getting 3 maps, but you'll get more through the Living World. Yeah, the story was really, really short, but you'll get more through the Living World. And the Living World isn't going to come out until like 9 months after the release of the expansion. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And then just, stuff like, well, when is the World versus World updates coming? Well, we thought, we estimated too big and it's going to take longer than expected. And it was just like, they keep adding stuff to the cash shop and they keep just like delaying the actual content people really want. And I just wasn't really feeling it. I was like, this is not giving me any reason to jump into the game. Then Colin Johansson left and Mike O'Brien took over, and I don't know. I mean, it's kind of where I am with the game. I'm like sitting here like expecting some changes, and I think they're having a content thing in April, a big content thing in April, where they're supposed to adjust some of these new expansion maps. But like, I don't know what to expect from it. I don't want to get my hopes up and be like, well, this will be the patch that gets me back in the game. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope it will, but I don't have any faith in. Because I mean, even if they do adjust some things, I honestly don't think they're going to adjust the things I really care about, and I don't know if they'll adjust it as far as I think they need to be adjusted. So yeah, that's the situation I'm in. I mean, I love Guild Wars 2. I absolutely love the game. It was, if you go back and watch some of my videos, I felt Guild Wars 2 was the best MMO on the market. Nothing could beat it, and I was a fanboy for a long time. But and it's funny that the highest part of the game's history, the expansion, has led to the lowest part of the game's history, the part after the expansion. I just hope things improve, but at the moment there's nothing in the game making me want to go back and play it, and the future doesn't look bright for me going back and playing it. And I just wanted to give an update and kind of give my perspective in all this matter and how I feel about, the future of the game and stuff. Right now it's not looking that good, especially with the, the recent controversy in the news with Mike O'Brien having to defend the release of the expansion after announcing the cancellation of future legendary weapons. I mean, he's having to fight. He's arguing with players on the internet about whether the expansion was a full expansion, half an expansion, all this kind of stuff. I mean, the truth of the matter is that they advertised legendary armor, and there was no legendary armor. They advertised legendary backpack, and you still can't get a legendary backpack. And they advertised World versus World stuff that wasn't in it. They advertised a lot of stuff that just wasn't in it. Fractal leaderboard, just a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of people are disappointed with the amount of content they eventually got out of the expansion for $50. And with the news that they're trying to put a lot of developers towards making the next expansion, I don't think a lot of people are that excited for the next expansion. Even if they announced it at December of this year, how many people would be like, yay, a new expansion, after being so disappointed with Heart of Thorns? Super short storyline, 3 maps that are grindy as heck, that really all they are is just meta events, bunch of promises that never came to fruition. World versus World is still hurting very badly. I mean, I would say the only real A+ home run that came out of the expansion was raids, But I hope you understand where I'm coming from and appreciate my perspective. And I probably won't make more Guild Wars 2 videos in the future at the moment, but I hope you're having fun in the game. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.